When the plane struck on September 11th, Michael Hayden was in his office as the director of the National Security Agency, the nation's electronic intelligence arm that intercepts communications. He got an urgent call from Central Intelligence Agency Director George Tenet that morning.
We could hear the kind of congratulatory messaging throughout the al-Qaida network throughout the world. And I said, George, I don't have anything hard, but it's clear who did this. We all knew. We all knew that it was al-Qaida.
But if they knew who it was, why did they not stop it beforehand? Hayden, who went on to replace Tenet as CIA chief, attributes it to a lack of imagination.
We saw the plots developing. We saw the chatter in the network. We saw the anticipation within al-Qaida cells. We just lacked imagination to conceive that the attack was coming here.
The Special 9/11 Commission looked into the intelligence failure and concluded different intelligence agencies had different bits of information, but no one put the pieces of information together. Or, as intelligence professionals like to say, they failed to connect the dots of the puzzle, primarily because they did not share information. Acting on the Commission's recommendations, Congress created a new cabinet-level post in 2004 to coordinate all U.S. intelligence efforts, the Director of National Intelligence. Dennis Blair, who held the job from 2009 until May of last year, says the problem was not too little information, but too much.
So much information had flooded into that place that the combination of people and machines that we had there was not able to pick out the really important from the huge amount of information.
Congress also created the National Counterterrorism Center, or NCTC, to get representatives from the CIA, FBI, NSA, and all the other government intelligence agencies to share information. Michael Leiter was NCTC chief from 2007 until May of this year. He says that 10 years after 9/11, there is still too much information to process at all, but that is better than having too little.
You can't, at the front end of counterterrorism work, know what's going to be important at the back end. And that's why you need all this information to come in. You need the tools to analyze it, because, again, you're not going to know until after the fact what tidbit of information was really critical to, you hope, cracking the plot.
Some analysts suggest that the killing of Osama bin Laden earlier this year and the constant pressure on al-Qaida put it on the verge of extinction. But former NCTC chief Leiter says that while the Pakistan-based core al-Qaida is in dire straits, its franchises are thriving.
Organizations like al-Qaida in the Arabian Peninsula, the al-Shabaab organization, which is aligned to al-Qaida in Somalia, and the threat of homegrown terrorists that are inspired by al-Qaeda's ideology in the U.S. and the West still do pose a real threat.
Former National Intelligence Director Blair says the danger in the U.S. today is more from small-scale plots.
I would think that the kind of multi-team, coordinated, big attack that was 9/11 would be something that we would be able to detect before it happened and stop now. The threat now has sort of atomized to these small 1 or 2 person attacks, which can still be very harmful.
Former NCTC chief Michael Leiter says that the U.S. has chalked up major successes against terrorist groups since 9/11, but 100% success is not guaranteed.
The counterterrorism community, of which I was a part, works as hard as possibly can every day of the year. It is a 24/7, 365-day-a-year operation globally. But no matter how good we are, no matter how much we improve information sharing, no matter how much we improve our information technology, no matter how much we improve our cultural and language expertise, things are going to get through.
10 years after September 11th, 2001, the tactics and combatants have changed, but intelligence officers remain locked in a shadowy struggle with violent Islamic extremists. Gary Thomas, VOA News, Washington.